20,000 HBAR or 20,000 KADENA. Which is the better investment today? As you can see, HBAR is well off all-time high, sitting at 0.065. Similarly, KADENA, along with every other altcoin throughout this bear market, has been battered as well. A 20,000 allocation in each of these projects in terms of buying the number of tokens. Which is the better investment? We're going to do a breakdown of the maths to get an idea of how the numbers stack up. At the end, I will then give you my conclusion. So if you like this type of video, smash up likes. Don't forget to subscribe. As always, check out the links in the description. Now, so far, I've got rounded numbers here, but we know HBAR is trading at about 0.065. Let's round it up to 7 cents here with a market cap of $1.8 billion. We can go and reference this on coin market cap. You can see that's there. You've got the fully diluted. Now, this video is not meant to break down the fundamentals. It's not to break down the tokenomics. If you want those, ask me. We can make separate videos on this. This is just to do a comparison video on how I compare which projects have better risk to return profiles. Straight away here, you can see fully diluted sitting at 3. We're going to ignore that for time being and focus on the market cap of 1.8. Similarly for KADENA, sitting at $1 right now with a market cap far less than HBAR of 230 million. Now, why would I choose these two projects? You will notice there's a theme behind both these two projects. They're both slightly an antithesis to the existing type of projects people invest in. If you look at HBAR, you know it's a hash graph versus the traditional normal blockchain, right? You know they've got a governing council. With KADENA, you know it's a layer 1 trying to scale using proof of work when everybody else is doing proof of stake, including Ethereum, who have moved to proof of stake. So these are kind of like the alternative options. And you guys know me, I love to have some of these in my portfolio. So let's take a look at the numbers, and we'll start off with HBAR. So HBAR sitting at today's price at a 1.8 billion market cap. If you want to buy 1,000 tokens today, it's going to cost you about 65 bucks. If you want to buy 20,000, it's going to cost you 1,300 quid, and 100,000 if you're a big baller, 6,500. So clearly it's an accessible coin. People can buy quite a few of these coins, and we know psychologically this makes an impact. Now let's move down. Let's say now HBAR was to do an 8x. That will get the price to 50 cents per token. Now we know that at all-time highs, they were at about that 58 cents mark. So this is something within its realms of possibility. That would give you a market cap of $13 billion. Not too shabby, not too huge. We've seen crazy other platforms going out there being much larger than this, but that would take your $65 investment and turn that into $500. It would take your $1,300 and turn it into 10 grand, and it would take your 6.5 grand investment and turn it into 50,000. Not too shabby for a project just to return back to its previous cycle all-time high. Remember, the way crypto works is adoption increases, the overall market cap of crypto increases, Bitcoin gets bigger, Ethereum gets bigger, and other projects fill the gap behind. So to just achieve your previous cycle high is actually slightly not positive for a project, right? They'd want to at least go hit their all-time high and create a new price discovery all-time high during the next cycle. So you could safely say that is a base target if you're investing in HBAR. Then you want to look down and say, how about if HBAR was to get to $1? What if we could 15x to get to that $1 mark? And you can imagine the hype that would be behind that. That would give you a market cap of 27 billion. Again, this is not crazy, guys. If you guys have just entered during this bear market, 27 billion might sound like a crazy market cap, but you've got to look at the other projects and how they've managed to do. You've got to remember that Cardano was at crazy large market caps without having anything built on it. This was before they had the Alonzo smart fork, before you could have smart contracts or any platforms or any total value locked in that ecosystem. So to say that, you know, HBAR can't get to these levels, again, you can make the argument for it. $65 will turn into $1,000, $1,300 will turn into 20K, and your 6.5 grand will turn into $100,000. Again, not too shabby, eh? Let's keep it moving and let's take a look at the $2 mark. So this is now saying we're going to achieve a 31x from now. This is where it starts to get a little bit difficult. You're going to have to rely on a lot of things going right here for HBAR. You're going to need the wider market to grow as well, and that would get you to a market cap of 55 billion. And now you're pushing it, right? Now you're really getting to the big boy leagues. This would have to be easily in the top 10 in order to kind of get to that level. And then your $65 will return you 2 grand. Your $1,300 will give you back 40K, which is not to be snubbed at. And a 6.5 grand investment today could bring you back 1/5 of a million, also known as $200,000. And then you want to put in your moonshots, right? So we have to add a few moonshots in there. A 77x gets you to a nice round figure of $5, and 154x gets you to $10. This is where you start really mooning, right? 138 million is like kind of the Ethereum size in a bear market. Even this at 276 billion, it's not out of the realms of crazy, right? Ethereum comfortably was at that $500 billion mark. So you can argue in, a couple of cycles, why could this not be the biggest blockchain, right? That's the argument you're making if you think your HBAR is going to anywhere between 77 and 154x from where it is today. So if that's where you're betting on, if you're trying to go for this option here, where your 65 grand is going to turn into 10 grand, or your 100 or your 6.5 grand is going to turn into $1 million, you're really betting that HBAR is not only going to be a really good investment and not collapse and not do anything like that, but they're going to be one of the best platforms out there with a lot of activity going on. That is what you're betting on there. Now let's move on to KADENA, the proof of work platform trying to scale the proven security that Bitcoin has proven over the last 12, 13 years. Sitting at $1.03 right now, sitting at 230 million market cap. So it's already an order of magnitude smaller than HBAR's current market cap. That's without taking into account the tokenomics, of course, and the fully diluted. But again, you can go ahead and buy 500 of these tokens for $500 today. You can buy 10,000 of them for 10 grand, and you can buy 20,000 for about 20 grand as well. Great stuff. So how about a 10x? If KADENA can 10x, that is getting you to a $2 billion market cap. I think it's reasonable to say in the layer 1 space to get to a $2 billion market cap is not crazy, guys. We've seen very bad layer 1 solutions get to that $2 billion market cap. It's very reasonable, it's very possible, and particularly in this next run, you would expect if you're investing in KADENA that you get to that $10 mark, giving you that $2 billion in market cap. That would take your $500 to 5 grand. $10,000 would turn into 100 grand, and your 20 grand would 10x to that 200,000. Very nice. But what if you wanted a bit more? What if you wanted to get to $6 billion in market cap? And again, to put this into context, $6 billion in market cap, you can see Litecoin is sat here in the top 13 with $6.4 billion in a bear market, at the bottoms of a bear market. So this is not out of the realms of ordinary, which is what I'm trying to explain here. If KADENA can become known as one of the better layer 1 solutions, it's not unreasonable for them to get to $6 billion in market cap. That would turn your $500 into 15,000. It would turn your 10 grand into 300,000 and your 20 grand into $600,000. Not too shabby. A nice 29x here. And that looks pretty juicy, to be honest, guys. That looks pretty juicy indeed. If you look at the market cap you're sitting on right now, if you look at the multiple, a 30x, just to get to somewhere that Litecoin is, not too shabby whatsoever. Now, to put that into context, that same 30x, right, to make that same 30x return, you're betting on HBAR to go to $2, which will get you to a 55 billion market cap. What does 55 billion market cap mean, guys? Let me show you right now what's going on in the market right now. 55 billion would put you straight above every other project outside of Bitcoin and Ethereum, okay? So it will put you 5 times where Cardano is here in the bear market and about 2.5 times where we're sat on here for XRP, okay? So that's a far bigger bet than saying HBAR to $6.7 billion for a 30x. Okay, let's keep going. 49x here on KADENA from up to $50 from $1. Okay, that's going to get you to 11 billion in market cap. Again, let's go references. 11 billion in market cap gets you to even what Dogecoin is right now, right? Dogecoin sitting at about 10 billion. You got Cardano at 11.7. You got Polygon at 10.2 here in a bear market. So to argue in the next bull run, when all of these projects I'm showing you, Matic is doing far better, Cardano is doing far better, even Dogecoin will probably be above 10 billion. To argue that KADENA couldn't fill that gap at 10, 11, it's a good argument to make, right? It's very, very possible. So that would then take your $500 to 25 grand. It would take your 10 grand up to 500,000. And that will then finally make you a millionaire if you spent 20 grand today and KADENA was to 50x. We'll add a couple of moonshots in there as well. 100x will get you to 22 billion. Again, not crazy far-fetched, right? Getting you, you can make between 50,000 and 2 million depending on how much you invest today. And a 1,000x almost gets you to $223 billion in market cap, a 1,000x. Now here's what's crazy. If you jump on over here, and that level here, if you look at what Bitcoin is, it's setting at 431. If you're looking at where Ethereum is, it's $200 billion in a bear market. So what you're arguing here for this crazy, crazy moon case is we're almost saying that you're going to be slightly bigger than Ethereum in a bear market. You can make the argument, right? You can make the argument if you're a KADENA board, say, you know what, as a moonshot, you wouldn't plan for it. It's a moonshot. You plan to get your money back in these investments here, right? To 10x, to 30x. That's what you do when you're building a portfolio. As long as you can get some of these and lock your money back in, and of course not lose money, then these are moonshots, right? If they happen, they happen. In every 10 altcoins you invest in, every 20 altcoins maybe you invest in, one will hit one of these crazy targets. And that's how you blow up your portfolio for the positive direction, right? So that's where you're saying, okay, maybe it could. If they were the standout performer, if they prove that proof of work is the one that's going to survive, why could it not eclipse Ethereum's bear market price, even if Ethereum continues to do even better things? So the argument can be had. Similarly for HBAR, the argument here for HBAR to 100x, which obviously is not as exciting as the 1000x, is a similar thing. What if we find out that proof of work isn't the way to go? What if it is a hash graph? What if it is this governing council model that HBAR is working on that works? In that case, you're looking at 150x to get to that kind of Ethereum bear market type of valuation. You can make the arguments, but again, I would never, ever plan for any of these scenarios. These bottom two here and these bottom two here, these will never be a reason for why I invest. So to summarize, I would invest in both these projects. Where I'm saying 20,000 in each, I would be actually dollar cost averaging in both. For me, both of these are really beautiful hedges against the status quo. Sometimes we get caught in confirmation bias in crypto, which is where we keep investing in what we know. Oh, look, another proof of stake layer 1, let me invest. Oh, look, another 2 Ethereum layer 2 platform, let me invest. Right? Oh, let's put some more in Bitcoin. Right, I understand. But what happens if that narrative changes? We never expected initially that, Ethereum would suddenly move from proof of work to proof of stake. So they voted to move to proof of stake. So now what do you have in your portfolio that's proof of work layer 1? Maybe you want a bit of KADENA. What if none of those models and actually the whole, hash graph model is the way to move forward? Then do you have a little bit of exposure to HBAR? By all means, you don't want to be going crazy on these, right? I mean, particularly on HBAR, you're looking at HBAR and the valuation is creeping up here. $3 billion in fully diluted market cap. This used to be a slept on crypto. And that is why, full disclosure, I own both of these. I bought HBAR a lot earlier than I did KADENA, but KADENA does seem to be in a much earlier position in terms of its valuation than HBAR. I would still DCA into both as a small part of the hedge part of my portfolio where I'm taking away some of that risk and I want to diversify into some of the others in case of my normal thesis is wrong, and that's where I stand. Let me know where you stand, guys. Do you prefer HBAR? Do you prefer KADENA? Or will you be staying away from both? Or maybe you're DCAing into both? Let me know in the comments. I want to hear your opinions because this is not an echo chamber. If you enjoy this type of video and you want me to do a same breakdown for different altcoins, let me know and I'll see you in the next one.